Yo, what's up, guys? So today I just wanted to talk about why all it takes is only one time, and it doesn't matter how many times you fail. For example, right? Let's talk about the WhatsApp co-founder Jan Kuman. I believe I don't know if I'm saying his last name correctly, but he's the WhatsApp co-founders or the founder actually. So what he did was he created WhatsApp in the beginning, right? Well, before he created WhatsApp, right, he was struggling. He did different odds jobs. He was just trying to make ends meet, and he was trying to create his app. He wanted his whole entire thing for WhatsApp was to connect to relatives, friends, and family across the world. You know, um, Without needing SMS. It's just a Wi-Fi connection, and it's based off text. And it's a platform that pretty much everyone uses internationally. So what he did was he continued to strive and spend his money on living and trying to get the app better and try to work on the app and work on the app. And eventually over time, through all the failures, he kept failing, kept failing, kept failing. Nobody really wanted to acquire WhatsApp, and nobody really cared about it. And then eventually he sold it to Facebook. He sold the app to Facebook, and then Facebook took on the app. And then we're here to this day, and WhatsApp has become a big sensation, has become a big thing. But what if he just gave up? What if he threw the app on the side and said, no one wants this, no one is acquiring it. I'm done doing investment pitches. Let's work on something else. He would have never made that sale to Facebook. Facebook would have never acquired it and made it to what it is today. So what he did was he continued to persevere. He continued to push through, and that's what you should do as well. If your business is not working, that doesn't mean that you should just quit and then try something else. You should still stick in there and see if you can make some changes, reinvent the wheel. Try a different category, try a different outlook, try a different angle. Just keep on pushing through and push through that little small little bump in the road, and you'll continue to rise and rise and rise. They say success, especially when you're an entrepreneur, is in mountains and peaks and cliffs and dips and all kind of stuff. When you zoom out, you see an upward trajectory. It could even be for a whole 2 years. Your business is not really moving, but you're still kind of making a little bit of improvement, but it's not really going. A little bit, but it's not really going. In that 2 year period, that's when the hustle mentality is really built. That's going to be some of the lowest times of your life, is that 2 years when the business is not really doing anything, because that's when you have to really build that mindset of, I need to keep pushing forward. It's almost insane, because it's like, your business is not working, you should just give up. It's 2 years. It's 2 years, nothing's has happened. You've barely been making income. You've been in the red. You've been investing all your money. But that's when the idea that you started the whole business for should be helping you to push through that. You have to think about your why. Why are you doing this? Was it just about money, or was it about creating something sustainable that you can have despite you working your job or anything else? Your plan was to create something sustainable so you can keep for a long period of time. And you understand that eventually, when you build your business up to a certain level, you can make an exit and you can sell it, just like the WhatsApp founder. He sold WhatsApp. You could sell your business to for 10 million, 20 million to a bigger company. Or you can potentially get partners and investors, and they can invest in your company, and you could be the CEO, and you can have other people run the company while you just kind of sit back and collect 10% of the profits, or 5% of the profits as the CEO or whatever, as a 5% shareholder of your own company, with different people investing in the company and different people running the company. So you can have that kind of exit plan. Have a plan. Maybe it's a family business and you just want it to increase. You want the business to grow in users. You want the business to grow in sales and revenue, and eventually over time that will happen if you stick to it. You have to understand what your business is about and why you're doing it, and you have to be in it for the long haul. There's going to be so many different ups and downs. There's going to be mountains, cliffs, peaks, everything. You have to understand what you're doing. It's the same thing with the stock market. You know, the only difference with the stock market is the stock market is a lot more chill because you don't have to be so actively involved. You just invest your money and you just watch the stock market go up, go down, and you know you sell at a loss, or you sell at a you know a win or a positive, or you know a profit. But over time, the stock market is going to go down and it's going to go back up. And if we look at it, you zoom back out, you know, 10 years, you've seen the upward trajectory. In 2008 and 2009, when the stock market was down and everyone, you know, was kind of taking their money out because they needed to kind of get back to a conservative thing, you know, after that, the stock market went right back up. And whoever was investing during those down times, guess what happened? They got the biggest gains, because when everyone is fearful in the market, that's when you should go in. You know, that's when you go in. You don't go in at the peak. You go in when everyone else is fearful. And that's what the founder of WhatsApp did. He understood that the WhatsApp wasn't selling. You know, a lot of people weren't on WhatsApp. Nobody was really using it like that. But he continued to invest in the infrastructure, the software development, everything else. And then Facebook seen the idea and they took it over. They said, "Hey, give us the app. We'll buy it for this much amount of money." And he sold it for about almost 19. I think, I can't remember if it was 19 million or nine. It was a big number he sold it for. And now, you know, he can invest that money into different things, different more businesses, real estate, stocks, whatever it is. But he understood the long term. So sometimes, guys, you're not going to make a lot of money in your business in the beginning. You might not even make any money in your business in the beginning for the first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. But over time, it only takes one time to sell your business. It only takes one time to make that profit for everything to be worth it. You even have it with music artists and music labels, or not labels, but some, well, yeah, even music labels. They sell their entire company. Music artists sell their catalog. You know, they work on their music for all their life. Sometimes some of the artists and some of the producers, they don't really make a lot of money. And then after that, you know, they sell their catalog for 2, 3 million. And it's like all that hard work, all that effort, all those late nights, all those times, you know, they were told their music is bad, all that gets worth it because they sold it for 3 million. 3 million, and then they can go and invest it and they can live off passive income. So understand that, guys, for your own business, it only takes one time to make it. Understand what your long-term goal is and keep pushing forward. Keep trying to reinvent the wheel anytime you can with your business. And during the down times, can keep pushing forward with your business. So if you guys like this video, subscribe, like, comment, leave some advice in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.